My name is Sharon Landry, and I teach for St. Bernard Parish at Trist Middle School, 7th grade ELA. To get the students ready for a Socratic seminar took a lot of work, but it was interesting work. The students read articles and they were practicing finding the claim and supporting evidence and turning and talking with partners, small group discussions. And prior to this lesson, they actually looked at two opposing argumentative texts about a topic very well known to them and very personal to them, screen time, and whether or not it was appropriate or how appropriate or harmful or beneficial. And they highlighted evidence and they wrote an assertion. And it was all text-based. And so all that work was done preliminary to the Socratic seminar. My goal is to make sure that they can express themselves and that they can analyze text. And so when they love to talk, and so getting them to talk about something that they've read is essential because it makes them understand or develop a deeper analysis of what they've read, and it gives them a voice. And so it increases their confidence, it develops their personality, and it helps to get me to learn about them so that I can better teach them and we can develop a better relationship. Overall, 38% of them are scoring mastery or came to me scoring mastery on LEAP, and so it's always our goal to improve their reading and their analytical and their thinking and writing skills. In order to support all the learners in the classroom, and especially during this lesson, I started with a Socratic seminar prep sheet where they actually had to write down their responses, and then of course with the article highlight their information of what they wanted to express and what they wanted to share. The second part that I do to support their learning, I had a Socratic seminar sentence starters, reference sheets available, posted in the room and on their desk for them in case they needed it. Another adaptation that I use, and they're very aware of it, is self-assessment, and I give them that ahead of time so that they know what they're being judged for or evaluated on, and peer assessments. And so they have all that information ahead of time, and the gradual release of responsibility, we've practiced this. It's not something that we just did brand new, and then of course I built them up to this point with doing turn and talks, small group discussions, whole group discussions, and then eventually something as formal as a Socratic seminar. The last final adaptation that I did, and it was kind of secret, was the students that I know struggle with academic vocabulary at times, circled words that they would have trouble with, and so I visited those individually prior to them doing their prep sheet. So I kind of work with the students that I know have certain challenges in certain areas, even though as a class overall they may not know what I'm doing, but the people that I'm working with do. As we start our lesson, I kind of want to get you thinking about something, and I think you would be able to relate to it, but how would you go about getting more information about a topic you were interested in, that you weren't really too sure about? You're interested in it, but you want to know more. So okay, I've got all this information, so if I want to really kind of get a better idea of it and dig deeper into it, how could I go about doing that? Chase?
You could participate in a collaborative discussion.
Like talk to people and collaborate with them and get their ideas. So look exactly, what are we doing today? Okay, look at our outcomes. Internalize them for a moment. And then if I could have somebody just kind of repeat nice and loudly. Go ahead, Grayson.
Participate in a collaborative discussion.
Okay, participate in a collaborative discussion. We know what that means. Okay? And then the second thing that what we're going to do today by the end of the lesson, Jahari.
Write an effective assertion and support it with the most relevant evidence.
Okay, you've already written an assertion, so now we want to write an effective assertion. Okay, now, why are we doing this? Okay, why are we doing this? Well, I know for sure one thing, Mallory.
And our understanding of a text or topic.
Okay, what is another reason of why we're doing this? And we kind of talked about it, Jayla.
To build upon each other's ideas.
Okay, exactly. The best form of communication, building upon each other's ideas. And of course, the third reason why we would be doing this. Eli, Jesse. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hey, to better express yourselves. We have been reading articles, we've been identifying the claim, we have been identifying relevant evidence, right? But next week, and starting actually Monday, you're going to pick your own argumentative issue, controversial, and you're going to have to read your own articles, identify the claims, and come up with your own assertion. your own thinking of what your ideas are on that issue and write an argumentative essay. So I'm curious to find out what you all think. Are you?
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to be something that you're kind of familiar with. As a matter of fact, it affects your world. Okay? Does anybody remember what you read yesterday? What did y'all read about? Shout it out.
Screen time.
Screen time. Okay, so I'm really curious to see if you think the issue of and I'm going to wait and let her ask the question, what you think about screen time, because it does directly affect your life, does it not?
Yes.
Does it make you think about your life?
Yes.
Okay, well at the end of this lesson, I bet you're going to be thinking more deeply about it. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, let's go at it. All right. At this time, before we start answering anything, okay, I need you to look up here. I always need to know before I do something, and you need to know. How am I going to know when I've achieved my outcome? How am I going to know when I've learned what I was supposed to learn today and done what I was supposed to do? Okay? And so the first thing we know is if we're supposed to participate in a collaborative discussion, the first thing I have to do is what, y'all? Participate, right? Say it again.
Participate.
So a couple of really good rules. How can I do that effectively? And if you need the anchor chart, it's on the board. How can I do that? Somebody I haven't heard from.
Make sure all voices are heard.
Ah, great job. Great job. Okay, correct answer right here.
Listen to others, respect them.
Okay, very good, Gary and Joshua at that. And back there, Cassidy. Speak loudly and clearly. Now, the second thing that is going to be assessed is you are going to assess yourselves, right?
Yes,
And that's what that peer self-assessment is for, and you've done that a few times. Any questions on that?
No man.
Okay. Your peer assessment, you know who your partners are. And so after the inner circle is done, you'll have your peer assessment, and you'll be able to share that feedback. And the most important thing is the outcome assessment. I'm going to look and see how much did your assertion change. Okay? And so when you rewrite your assertion, and that's what the outcome says, look at this, an effective one. Yesterday you wrote one. So now we're going to make sure it's the most effective, and after listening to everybody's evidence, is my evidence the most relative? And you'll have a chance to change that. And then I'm going to check them and let you know. Yes, it's very effective, and yes, your evidence is the most relevant. Okay? So, are there any questions?
No ma'am.
No, ma'am? Okay. Enjoy, because you don't have to listen to me anymore. Now you're on your own. Okay, ready? We'll just set the timer for 5 minutes, please. Okay. And I'm going to be taking some notes, but don't worry if you're talking and I'm writing. Just don't worry about me. Just focus on each other. Ready? Okay.
How harmful or beneficial is screen time? Write your research and overall opinion.
I think that screen time can be harmful and negative, and can have negative effects on children, because when you go to page 2, paragraph 9, it says that young people spend more time with the media than they do in school. It is the leading activity for children and teenagers other than sleeping, the policy says. And that evidence is important to the claim because it says that kids use electronics for longer than a school day, and they aren't really getting the full time that they should have.
I respect your opinion, Chase. Tasha, I agree with you.
I agree with you, but I'm agreeing more with the fact that screen time is harmful, but not as harmful as you may think. Because on page 4, paragraph 1, it says certain kinds of digital tools can support family interactions using video chat, Skype, FaceTime, etc., which is helping children keep in contact with maybe loved ones far away.
My question is though, we're all saying that how it's so bad and everything, but my question is, are we willing to give up our phones and things to maybe prevent from all these things from happening? Because we're all saying all the negative effects, but what are we going to do to stop them? That's my question.
Think about the feedback that you could share, what went well, or how something could have been improved with your partner, or maybe something that they could have added with their evidence or their assertion. Okay, it's time to give your immediate feedback to your partner. And so what I'm going to do is have you 1 minute The inner circle is just going to turn around, talk, share. Outer circle, you're free to have the conversation. Let them give you the feedback and then make adjustments, because outer circle, you may not have seen something, or that you may not have caught something, so kind of compare your assessments and make adjustments. And then within that minute, go ahead and switch. You can leave the Chromebooks where they are, and then go ahead and switch. So take all of your papers when you return. Okay, clock set please for 1 minute and go.
I put 24 and I got which is a B, but I don't really know what.
I agree, but instead of 24, I put 26. Because I think that you didn't dominate the discussion. You did all this stuff, but I gave you a 2 on this because you did kind of connect to the claims of other people. But I think you could have did a little better with like asking questions.
Okay. Flip your sheet over. So now the inner circle, the top of your sheet should say inner circle. And the outer circle, the top of your sheet should say what? Outer circle. Okay. Any questions? Alright, ready? My awesome timekeeper is gonna put how much time on the clock? 5 minutes. Yes, sir.
So we're both evaluating Keon?
Yes, because we have a student absent. And actually, that's even better because then you can compare your assessments. Yes. And we can see how accurate we're doing and how we can improve with the accuracy. So thank you for doing that. Yes. Oh, okay, so who is my leader? Okay. And who is my caller? Okay, so there's your question. Good question. And so now what I need you to do is I need you to look at that assertion that you read yesterday, that you wrote, when you read this article on your own and you were just looking at the evidence. And I want you to think about what you talked about today. Think about what you heard, other people's opinions, and I need you to look at your evidence. Is your evidence the most relevant evidence to coincide or to support your assertion? I'm going to look and see and check and give you immediate feedback on how effective it is, okay? Your assertion, and I'm connecting that assertion with your evidence. So if you need to change your evidence, do so as well. Okay, there are 2 places you can do it. On the back of your Socratic Circle prep sheet, okay, for those of you that like to handwrite, and those of you, there is on Google Docs. If you go to Google Classroom, you can type it out. So log on to Google. You're going to have 3 minutes, okay? And then I may end up doing a 4th minute depending on how many people are adding and changing their evidence, okay? So if you do finish early, then go on over and click on the next assignment on Google, and we'll get to that after this, okay? Because then we're going to start looking at some controversial issues. Yes, the lesson objectives were met. The students completed the self-assessment and the peer assessment, and so of course I evaluated those and I gave them a grade according to that. And also I looked at the assertions that were written and were able to evaluate those and meet with the students that still did not meet the objectives, which I had about 2 or 3 in each. The one thing I would do differently is I would meet with, I have 2 students that just do not like to talk at all, and they just turn red. And I did meet with them prior, and I verified their answers and tried to make them feel comfortable and motivated them to try to speak. But I should have met with them a day before or 2 days before and let them practice in front of me. And I have done that in the past with grades or activities that I knew were graded and students that I knew were reluctant speakers, and it worked. And I wish I would have done that this time. I just kind of guided them into it thinking that they were ready, and they weren't. And the other thing that I think I would do is give more student choice as to what topics they would want to explore with the articles. But I think this topic worked well, so it was a good lesson. Oh, the students were excited. They were ready to go and choose a topic of their own, an argumentative topic, and so that they could pick a side and write about it and give their evidence and explain in their commentary and explore their own topics, and they were excited to do that. Oh, my favorite part about this lesson is when students are speaking. When they're speaking, they're learning, they're having fun. it's all about getting to know them and getting them to learn as much as they can. And the more they articulate themselves with the material and the content, the better they will be able to express themselves and build their confidence. And that leads to my overall vision of what I want them to be able to do. And so, especially in 7th grade, and they did it very well. What I really enjoy about this lesson and why it's one of my favorites is because it puts the teacher as just a facilitator, and the students are really managing themselves, and they're managing their speaking, and they're managing each other, and they're managing the activity, and they're delving deeper into text, which is what they need to be able to do, and they're expressing themselves. And so it leads to their overall confidence, it leads to their academic skills, which all improve as a result of it. And it's fun. It's fun to hear their thoughts and to see what they're doing and learning, and it leads to my overall vision of getting to know them and build their skills.